It's like a chicken burger disco.
Oh, nice. You should tilt your camera down so you can promote them the whole time. There you go. Just do the show without your
Hate
face.
Watching with Dan and Tony, starring my
Show
chest.
us your boobs.
Tony.
What?
This is not New Orleans.
Nolans, baby.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Words.
I put the hands up and Tony stopped talking.
It's
like a controlled response. Tony starts doing.
I'm like a mouse with the button. I'm just gonna push it.
Give me water. Water. Mouse with the button. Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And we're here to take it on the chin for you by watching movies that are 12 years old.
Oh.
So that we can warn you off of them. Warning, spoilers ahead.
Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen this movie, you're probably not gonna anyhow, so it doesn't matter.
No. This week, we're doing a movie I picked.
Yeah, you picked it.
We're doing the Wolfman from 2010.
Oh.
Now, I watched the hour and 59-minute bonus director's
You watched
cut.
the unrated version.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You should have told me. I would have watched. I watched the regular one because I feel like you usually watch the regular ones, but I also own the unrated, so I've seen it.
Okay, so you have seen it. Good.
Yeah.
Because I was reading about the movie, and there's like ostensibly the only interesting scene in the movie is only in the director's cut.
Which one is that? Or do you want to wait till we get there?
Where he gets the cane.
Oh yeah, no, it just appears in this one. You're right. You're absolutely right. I didn't even remember that until you just said it.
And it's the one interesting scene that feels like it's setting things up, and then they never happen. So that's why they cut it out of the movie, because it sets up. I mean, it doesn't set up. It implies that there's something going to be coming that
and
never
it doesn't.
Comes.
I mean, they keep a lot of those things in there anyhow, but it's fine. It's all fine.
I can't imagine. All that this additional 17 minutes was to make the movie even longer and more boring.
Yes, that is true. Because what's weird is they call it the unrated version, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's that much more gore. I feel like they keep most of the gore in the original cut.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I would hope so.
I don't. So like the padding runtime doesn't really do a whole lot for you in like an unrated fun type of way.
I mean, the gore is amongst the only good stuff in the movie.
It is very solid effects. Most of it's I don't know about most, but like a lot of it's practical effects, which is great. Rick Baker, I think his name is.
Rick Baker.
Fucking genius. Love that guy. And that's one of the reasons this movie makes me so frustrated is because like they have talented people in the right places.
Sure.
But then they still fuck it up. Why do you it should be good. It should be good. I love a Wolfman story.
This feels a lot like Assassin's Creed did, where you're like, you get to these points where you're like, this is good looking. The production design is good. There's all this sort of stuff.
Really
and then you realize who directed the movie. And then you're like, oh, that's what happened probably.
I should do my research. I'm sorry.
Joe Johnson.
Okay. And he is...
let me pull up his thing.
Yeah, let's pull it up. Let's get an in-depth review of Joe here.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was pretty good.
Phenomenal. What are you talking about?
The Rocketeer.
Yeah. Okay.
The first Jumanji.
What? I like Jumanji. Robin Williams Jumanji, right?
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in there. I mean, most of it's Robin, but...
He did Jurassic Park 3, which I don't even remember what that one was.
Is that... 2 and 3 kind of blending. I think 3 is Vince Vaughn, where they're in the bird cage. I'm pretty sure, and there's some fun stuff in there.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's not a great movie.
Something called Hidalgo, Wolfman. He did the first Captain America
Hidalgo
movie.
The horse? I think Hidalgo's the horse with the Lord of the Rings guy. Okay.
Yeah, racing a horse.
So I mean, nothing like.
And then he did the first Captain America movie. And I think that tells you everything. That first Captain America movie is just a movie.
Is it the first?
I mean, it's just a movie. It's just.
I strongly dislike the first Captain America movie.
See, but I mean, it's just like The Rocketeer. It's like, I don't hate the Rocketeer movie, but there's nothing there. I don't hate the first Captain America movie, but there's nothing there. You know, you watch Winter Soldier and you're just
3 hours of nothing. Yeah, Winter Soldier, great movie. Great movie. Captain America, the First Avenger is a very boring movie with a great cast. Yeah. A beautiful cast, especially Tommy Lee Jones.
So I think Joe Johnston comes in, makes these movies that look pretty good, that are, serviceable.
Yep. Sure.
But there's nothing there. You get to the end and you're like, huh?
I mean, so just broad strokes here before we get into details. My problems with this movie.
Sure.
In order, acting. It's just, we're going to talk about it, but it's not good.
A lot of acting.
It doesn't make any sense. Like the timeline of it doesn't make any sense. And then the pacing is super weird. It's all over the place.
Now, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, please do.
When does a werewolf turn into the werewolf?
On a full moon.
So does the full moon have to be at 60% apogee, or between 59 and 60 is when you change?
Well, usually it's at midnight when it's at its highest peak.
Oh, it's at
right?
midnight.
I thought that I think it probably depends on your lore, right?
I would think as soon as the full moon rises,
as it's popping up, you think? Yeah. I think that's a fair assumption. I also am curious on if they are only using the lunar cycle as one full moon a month in this movie. I honestly can't tell.
3.
They do it in this movie?
3. Yeah. This movie, if you kind of pay attention,
so confusing.
He has 3. He has that first change is when the pit. The second change is at the doctor's, at the sanitarium, and then the third change is the final thing. Yeah.
I agree with all that, but are you telling me those are 3 days? Because a lot happens in between these things that I have a hard time believing it's all in one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I agree that you could cram all this shit into 3 days? No. No, I think it's really stupid, and I think you've kind of... in your classic movie thing, they didn't even make this mean something, right?
Correct.
We didn't know. It's like, you got 3 days. We're going to have to deal with these 3 days. And it's about these 3 days. Yeah. They just sort of, we're not going to really think about it.
Yeah. Which, they didn't, but I did. I spent a lot of time trying to understand when the fudge I am right now.
Well, and that's the whole thing, is anybody that's smart is going to be like, everybody just lock your doors the third night.
Lock your doors.
Then we'll find the dude the next day and we'll shoot him in the head and nobody's going to die.
Great.
Right?
Love that. That's great.
The whole thing plan. Is, once you know who the werewolf is and you know he's an actual werewolf, you lock your fucking doors that night.
Sure. And here's the thing is, everyone seems to know who the werewolf is.
Yeah.
Except for the doctor. Hold on. I'm going to get ahead of ourselves. Let's start this movie.
Number one. Wait, you got to finish your list. Acting.
Yeah.
The timeline, is that number 2?
Yeah.
Just being confusing and weird.
It'll make more sense when I explain what I'm confused about on the timeline, because it has to do with who knows what when.
Sure.
Because it's all over the place. It's very weird.
I ignored all of that because...
That is a mistake, Dan, because it's very frustrating.
No, it's not. It's incredibly not frustrating when you completely ignore that aspect of the movie.
Very frustrating when 3 scenes before some guy's like, "Oh, I have silver bullets. I hunt monsters," and then 3 scenes later, like, "There's no such thing as monsters." I don't know. I don't understand. But
okay, so just those 2 things. You're pretty good with everything else in the movie.
Wait, we said acting, we said the timeline, and the pacing of the direction.
Pacing of the direction. Okay, so only 3 things. Everything else, bingo, bango, great movie.
What else is there? Visuals, I think, are pretty solid. I think we touched on that. I enjoy the effects. I think the mood lighting and like the sets, and I think that's all pretty good. But just the stuff that fills it is bullshit.
There it is. So we start off. We do a man, pure of heart, autumn moon bullshit. Who knows what all that means? Full moon.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Dan, it means nothing to the movie. The opening and the closing, monologues, have nothing to do with the story we just heard. I get so mad at this movie. It's so stupid.
So we're in 1891 in the UK. Man with the flashlight. Show yourself. Show yourself. So is he looking for his dad? Is that who he's looking for?
We don't know, and we never really discuss what he's actually doing in the woods. Not a clue. Apparently, it doesn't matter, even though he's very specifically looking for someone or something.
So he gets jump scared, and then he gets mauled, and then he crawls along to the crypt, and then the Wolfman kills him. And it's pretty quick. It's like 5 minutes. We're in the movie. Yeah. Boom, this guy's dead. We sort of see the Wolfman a little bit, and I'm like, okay. This is a dangerous creature.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's fun. The way that they portray the wolf in this movie is pretty good, I think. For the most part.
Now we see Benicio on stage doing Hamlet, and I say to myself, he's a bad actor.
Dan,
it's like
not only
is Hamlet.
Benicio bad in the movie, because I think he's dreadful in this movie and horribly miscast. But then they make him an actor in the thing, and he's incapable of acting as an actor in it's too many layers of bad Benicio. It's too much for me to handle.
I've been watching this Station 11, which is like my favorite show in the world, and it's all about Shakespeare and all this shit, and there's acting, and they do acting, and it's just all this acting going on. Sure. And then you see this Benicio trying to do like literally 15 seconds of Hamlet, and they can't get a take where it seems like he's a good actor.
Correct. Because
and you're like, what the fuck?
I do enjoy Benicio when he's used correctly, but he has to be used in a very specific way. He's not like a super versatile actor. I'm sorry. And in this movie, he has zero emotion for the whole time. We'll get to my least favorite part of this movie, and it's what really torpedoes the movie for me later, and it's 100% his fault. But just in general, he does not emote in this movie at all. And then Anthony Hopkins comes in, and I think he's like, oh, we're doing that? Benicio, that's what we're doing. We're going to do it we're just going to flatline the whole thing. I got you, bud. I'll do it with you. And Anthony Hopkins gives you zero. And that, to me, is a tragedy, because I love Anthony Hopkins, but he is either phoning it in or he's just trying to match Benicio's dull demeanor. I don't know which one it is. I'd have to ask him.
So he dulled it up to keep pace with Benicio. I think so.
He didn't want to show up Benicio. Yeah, Benicio's number one on the call sheet, baby. You don't want to make him feel bad. You know what? I appreciate it. I'm all on board with Anthony Hopkins again. He's a good guy.
Oh my God, it's so weird. So Benicio's there being sad.
Being a terrible guy.
And then what's her name shows up? Emily Blunt shows up. And you're like, okay. Emily Blunt, I like her. And she's all like, I'm engaged to your bro. Your bro just died.
Isn't she like, hey, he's missing? Because she writes in the letter.
That's what it is. He's missing. You got to come and unmissing him. Which seems like...
I want to write a movie just called Unmissing. That's great, Dan.
It's like really weird. It's like...
Yeah.
She's coming to him, like, why doesn't she just like hire some
ostensibly,
dudes?
It doesn't seem like she's ever met him, because when she's like, I'm the wife, and he's like, I know who you are. I don't know. It's all very weird.
It's very
It doesn't
weird.
make any sense. Also, why is he an actor? That doesn't really come into play in the story.
We'll talk a little more about his character and what his character does. Because
great.
None of it makes any sense.
Great. I'm very excited.
This is important. So he's got all these harlots. It's fucking incredible. Like super hot ladies wearing super hot lady outfits, and he sends them all home. So, Tony, is this the life of the theater, the Shakespearean theater? This is the existence of just like they pile on the harlots and you just live. Is this the life you used to live before you came
to be LA? Or not to be? Am I right, dude? Come on. 100%. You know, I did Shakespeare in the Park one year and I was just swimming in it. What a disgusting thing to say. No. No, dude. Nobody likes Shakespeare. I mean, but this is the 1800s, right? Maybe back then it was cooler. Maybe he is the Brad Pitt of the 1800s. We don't know.
They seem to be implying that.
Is Brad Pitt still cool? I feel like maybe he's still cool. Yeah.
So she hard shames him a bunch, and he's like, sorry, can't do it. Leave for USA tomorrow. No, can't do. And then, boom, he's on the train.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to like tell anybody. He doesn't, the whole idea of being pressured into something is you have to go and like tell your company
right.
that you're not going.
By the way, I have to take a leave of absence. Your understudy better be ready to go because I'm leaving, baby.
And this is where you have a character defining moment, right?
Sure, but not really.
We skipped all that.
Yeah, we don't need it. We get it. You get it, Dan. You know what happened in the shadows.
Are there consequences? Who knows? Was it hard for him? Who knows? We don't know anything because we don't see any of that part of the thing.
100%. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
So he's on the train, and here comes Max von Sydow. He's being weird. He's like, take my cane. It's silver. It has a wolf's head. It has a knife in it. And then he's like, take it. And he's like, no, thank you. No cane, thank you. And then he falls asleep, and then he wakes up, and then the guy was a ghost, and then the cane is just there.
Maybe that's why they cut it out. I don't remember. He was a ghost? I don't remember that
Well, he just disappears.
Okay.
It's just
but he still gives him the thing, even though he hasn't been bitten yet.
Nope.
That doesn't make any sense. I would cut that out of the movie, too.
But it sets up that something more means something, right?
But it doesn't mean something.
But it doesn't mean something. That's the whole thing of the movie. So he gets to his dad's estate. He gets off early, and he's standing there on a bridge, and he looks out, and there's the big building, and then there's all these cute little sheepies like eating the grass in front of it. They're so
visually,
cute.
It's very pretty.
So cute. All the little sheepies were so cute.
So, I love the little animals on this little land here.
There are two of my favorite things in this movie. The literal 3-second shot of those sheep.
And what's the other one? Or
I'll tell you about it when we get there.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So let's put a pin in that. So sheep, number 1, and we'll wait for number 2.
Number 2's coming later. So he goes in there, and there's Pops, and Anthony just starts doing the feted calf, the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Sing the servant comes down, and Dad's like goes in there and starts twinkling the ivories.
Which is great, I guess. I have a question on their relationship here, Dan.
What relationship?
Okay. I guess that answers it. I don't know. How long has it been? Ostensibly, it's been a very long time.
Well, the thing we got to remember about this relationship is Dad put him in the insane asylum for no reason.
But it's not no reason, right? I think.
I don't know.
Well, we'll get there when we get there, but there's a reason. We just don't talk about the things correctly or in the right order. It's all disjointed.
So wait, there's an explanation as to why he put him in the asylum?
I think, but I'm not sure. That's what I'm telling you, because I'm pretty sure because later, they do the flashback again, but Anthony Hopkins is a werewolf.
Oh, you mean he went in the asylum because the mom killed herself?
But Mom didn't kill herself.
He killed Mom.
I think Dad killed her as a werewolf.
Oh, yeah, he did, for sure.
Saw him a werewolf, and was like, my dad's a werewolf. And then they zapped that right out of him. But we don't deal with any of it. So I'm kind of filling in blanks. I could be making this up.
No, you're absolutely right. I did not put that together at all.
Because why would you? Because part of it happens at one point, another part happens 45 minutes later, and then you have to fill in a bunch of stuff all on your own. Because the script fucking sucks.
It's true. That is the whole premise. Is Dad put him in the asylum because he saw that he was a werewolf,
which is a cool twist. I enjoy that, but we didn't do that. We didn't deal with that almost at all.
He didn't say it. We didn't get that's why Dad put me in the asylum because of that. I mean, sometimes the characters do have to spell the shit out.
Not only that, but he should have a moment where he's feeling that. Like when he remembers that, he should be like, "Oh my God, I was right all along. Like I saw this as a kid. I've known my whole life. Oh shit, I got to kill him." I don't know.
We don't get any of that because
we don't get anything.
That would involve understanding what they want us to think is happening. And because I think right near the beginning, we find out that he got put in an asylum, and you're just like,
100%.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Benicio just tells the lady, I'm pretty sure. I think he just tells Emily Blunt. He's like, yeah, well, he locked me up one time. That was weird.
Okay. Dad playing piano. We say, I wrote, see the body in town jump scare. Oh, he goes to town because he has to see his brother.
He wants to see his brother's body.
And he opens it up, and there's the body, and I don't even know what it looked like. It
didn't really look like much. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have been that scared. I'd have been like, oh, it's kind of like skeleton-y.
So he gets a magic medallion that's supposed to tell him something, and I never understood what the medallion meant.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
And it sends him somewhere. And then he goes to the tavern, and everybody's all like, bah, 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 that guy deserved it. Their mom was an asshole. And so, the one guy tells a werewolf story, so we're like, oh, werewolves. And
and this is the beginning of when I get confused on who knows what when.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty much on the werewolf thing right away. Some people.
Other people think it's the bear, the gypsy's bear.
Right. Which is, come on, guys, that's not a thing, you idiots. But then there are people who don't believe, which is, I guess, it makes sense because some people would believe, some people wouldn't.
Sure.
But there has to be like a middle ground somewhere where, like, even if you don't believe, it's like this world clearly believes these things.
Yeah, sort of.
Right?
Sort of, not
sort of. I don't know. It's
the village people are not superstitious. They're 50% superstitious, but not half of them are superstitious and half of them aren't. It's like everybody's 50% superstitious.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're all confused.
Yep. And I'm confused.
They're right on the edge of reason. So
you're throwing out some great one-liners here, Dan. Right on the edge of reason.
So the one guy insults his mom, and so he goes over there, yells at him. He's like, Mama. I'll be outside. And then we cut away from that, and we don't deal with the outside at all. So he says something.
Was he outside? Was he waiting? I don't know. We're going to leave that up to your imagination.
Something might have happened. Who knows what it was? So we have the big, long dinner table. Now, is this Tony has like a favorite line from this, and this is my only guess.
It's not yet. But what line was this?
Delicious baked eel.
Oh, I mean,
the eel over to her.
He's got a lot of good one-liners because he delivers them all the same.
I like the delicious baked eel. I thought that was very funny. I figured that was the line you loved, and you threw that out all the time. Would you like some delicious baked eel?
I mean, I might pick it up now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So, he's like, Emily Blunt, go home. So she's like, I'm gone. And then,
but then she doesn't. It's kind of confusing.
No, she'd come. Yes, I don't know. It's really weird. Yeah,
I don't know.
So he's talking to Dad, and Ben was doing something with the gypsies. Maybe he was like having sex with them. I don't know. We don't know who Ben is. We don't ever meet him. We don't understand him.
That's fun. Are you already tired of this movie, Dan?
So then, I guess he talks to Emily Blunt again, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm on the case."
Yes.
And then we have the ghostly memories, and he remembers mom dying.
Strongly dislike the way they edited these flashbacks. There's like these weird, the ghost. Yeah, like they kind of merge two different. I don't know. It's very dumb.
He hears ghost voices before he has a memory, which you can't hear ghost voices before you have a memory. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Also, who are the ghosts? And what are they trying to tell him? Are they trying to tell? Okay, so the ghosts are trying to tell him, like, "Hey, your dad's a werewolf. Try to remember."
See, I don't think they're ghosts though. So maybe the memories are ghosts from.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's his mind is trying to. So they zapped it out of his. I'm filling in all these blanks. They zapped in. They gave him electroshock therapy, and he lost his real memories, and they rebuilt the memory as his mom took his life. So his mind is trying to rebuild the synapses that are like, "Hey, no, dude, it's a werewolf. Be careful."
So we do the bro's funeral at the crypt, and then Emily's like lounging on a rock, looking pretty delectable, but at the same time, not a thing a lady of her stature would do. She would not lounge on a rock.
Well, not then. I feel like now at times it might be a little more.
Sure.
You get it. We're much more lax these days.
Oh, now she leaves, and Guillermo's going to solve so he's like, get out again. So she gets out.
I keep telling you, lady, leave.
And he's going to solve it. So he goes to hang out with the gypsies at night, because everyone does everything at night.
Are there days? Because I feel like very few times we see anyone in the daylight. Anyhow.
So the old lady, she does his tarot, which is weird. And then we cut back to all the men. They're like, we're going to go hunt the monster, whatever the monster is.
Yeah, they don't know.
So to hunt the monster, they basically, what that really means is they've gone to the gypsy camp, and they're going to kill the bear.
Yeah.
That's the second thing I liked. The bear. He was so cute. Oh my God, he was so cute. He
warned them of danger. What a sweet baby.
It's a good bear.
Sweet little baby.
And we never see the bear again.
Well, good, because if they killed them, if they killed that bear, this movie would be dead to me.
I might, and the first time in this podcast, turn the movie off and be like, they can go fuck themselves.
Nope.
That's it.
Not today.
So then we get the big battle of the camp.
Hold on, before we go here, at what point, I feel like I missed it.
Yeah.
There's a point where Benicio is in the bar, right? And somebody has silver bullets. And he looks at the bullets and he's like, Silver, I didn't know you hunted monsters. But like with a smirk. Has that happened already?
I didn't write down that scene because I don't remember it.
That was when I got very confused. I think that already happened. And I was like,
Could have been.
People, not only do some people believe, but they have silver bullets. So it's to the point where they're like, nah, this shit's real, bro.
I think they might have talked about melting down the silver spoons at that point.
And all that happens very quick. Everyone, like, people are very quick to be like, no, this is very real. We need to like fight this monster with monster fighting things. How do all these people know how to kill a werewolf? The world is confusing to me. In most werewolf movies, the majority of people don't know anything about werewolves.
Nope.
And then it's just like the select few that are like, oh no, this is a beast. This is a lycanthrope. You need to kill it with the silver bullet. But this movie, everyone's just kind of like, I kind of know a little bit. I don't know. I hate it.
So Battle of the Camp is super brutal. The werewolf goes 1,000 miles an hour.
Yes.
Seemed a little too fast for me, but okay.
I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay.
And since I hate everything that happens in this movie when there's not a werewolf on screen, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
Like, I don't judge that too harshly, and I enjoy the deaths. It's a good time.
There's some brutal, through the throat and hands
the claw
being
that's
mauled.
like come through. Yeah, that's 10 out of 10.
There's
great stuff.
Some good brutality.
Yeah.
The stupid kid runs off into these stones, then he goes off into the stones, and then he gets bit.
Yeah. Shocking.
So they take him into the gypsies. The gypsies know exactly what's happening. They know exactly what's happening.
Again.
And the one gypsy's like, hey, we shouldn't let him live. And the other gypsy's like, nope, I'm going to save him because no reason.
Because I love chaos.
No reason.
That's the answer. Is I want more people to die unexpectedly and on accident.
And this is the point where if you were a real movie, what you would do is he would not be saved by the gypsies. He'd be saved by the rich doctor. And so here we'd be playing off the gypsies know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And then the gypsies try and assassinate Benicio a couple of times or do some things like that. But for some reason, the gypsies save him for no reason.
Yes.
Period. No reason. They owe him nothing. There's not only that,
but they know there's no way to fix it because later in the movie, she goes to the gypsy and is like, tell me how to fix it. She's like, well, you can't. You can't fix it. So you have to kill him. And it's like, but then why didn't you kill him?
No,
doesn't make any sense, Dan.
Why didn't you just let him die? You don't even have to kill him.
Right, you don't have to. Yeah, he's going to bleed. Yeah, he's doing it on his own.
You're saving this guy that ostensibly just killed a bunch of your, or whatever. You're just...
Yeah.
It's not like they have any control over it. Because I think in the real Wolfman, the gypsies had control over him, actually. They used him.
Oh, in like the 40s?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in too long. I should have rewatched that. I didn't have time.
I'm pretty sure they used him to strike back. And that's
I like that better.
The whole interplay should be aristocracy versus the poor.
Yeah.
And the normal townsfolk are in the middle being stupid. And the gypsies are trying to solve this problem. And the aristocracy he's trying, the dad is trying to keep him alive. And therein lies the problem.
Well, what's interesting about what you just said is that in general, like a Wolfman tale is supposed to be like a parable for the beast within us all, right?
Uh-huh.
Like in general, that's kind of the idea is like we all have monsters, yada, 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 men versus beast, right? And at the end of this movie, we kind of do a line in the voiceover that's like, every man is a beast. Where does one end and the other begin or whatever? It's like, but your movie didn't deal with that.
Nope.
And it should. Sure. But they don't.
So the gypsies don't let him die. Take him back home. He's having all these weird monster dreams. And then Emily Blunt is his full-time nurse. You're like, yes, please.
Right. No, that's a great lifestyle choice. I'm all into it. When do they fall in love, Dan?
In the next couple of scenes.
Do they?
I mean, do they? No.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, literally in this movie, when am I supposed to, because it went from like 0 to I'll never let you go, Jack, very quickly.
Yep.
And it's just, there's no character development. The only thing that I saw is that he teaches her how to throw a skipping rock on a pond. And she was like, oh, I'm a woman. I can't do it. Oh my God, this man showed me. What the fuck is happening? Also, now she's in love with him. He's a great stone thrower. I really am attracted to him. Stupid.
So, boom, carriage pulls up in town. Who gets out? Hugo frickin' Weaving.
Yeah.
And you're like, the only character in this movie that's interesting, and he tries hard. He tries hard.
Good for him. He's the opposite of Anthony Hopkins, who was like, oh, if this is where we're going, I'll just play down to your level. Hugo's like, I am going to be in a movie. I love this guy.
He spends the whole movie looking for the movie and can't find it.
Well, it's not his fault. I don't fault him at all because it's not there. You can't find something that's not there, Dan.
So he does some victim blaming, which I thought was very funny. I don't remember what it was, but I wrote victim blaming.
So this is again where I start getting very confused about stuff. So basically, he's having a one-on-one combo with Benicio. And he's like, well, your attacker was probably a madman. Maybe spend some time in an asylum.
Oh.
And Benicio's like, I understand your implication and I resent it. And I was like, but I don't understand it because you attacked yourself. Is he saying he attacked himself? What does that even mean? And he couldn't have attacked his brother. He wasn't even in town. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand what's happening.
He had an alibi. Hamlet.
Yeah,
my alibi is Hamlet.
Shakespeare.
So now we have that great skipping stones with Emily Blunt.
Great. Yeah, so romantic. That's first dates from here on out. Stone skipping.
So the townspeople come to drag him off because he has an unholy wound. So basically, the townspeople know exactly who the problem is.
That's what I'm saying. And they're ready immediately.
They're ready
but
to
he's
take
not
him
even. I don't get it, man. I don't get it because he was clearly bit by someone. You know that, but you're going after him. But the other thing is still out there, and nobody seems to care about that. They're all like, no, it's Benicio. He was bitten. Now he has the mark of the beast. But where did the bite come from? It came from the beast. I don't understand it. The motivations are very confusing.
That's really true. When they show up to take him away, they're kind of like, you're the problem, and if we solve you, the problem is solved.
Then it's fine. But it's like, no, dudes,
he can't be the
bit
problem.
by something. You know that. You say it. You say he's been bit. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
As opposed to him being like the new problem.
Right. It's like, okay, we got to take care of you. Who bit you? Because we also need to find him because that's the real problem.
Dad chases them off, and now he makes Emily leave again. You got to leave again.
But she's still like, I feel like there's a circle drive somewhere and she just goes on. She's like, how did I get back here?
No, she's back in England. No, she's back in London. So now we have the church guy does like all this church guy talk. And it's like, I don't even remember. He's just like, blah, blah, blah.
Nothing.
Blah, blah, blah,
it's all
blah,
nothing.
Blah,
it adds
blah,
up
blah,
to
blah,
nothing.
Blah, 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 blah. So now Guillermo goes back to his house and he walks around and then he finds like this chair and then it's like a lockup chair, kind of, and then you're like, oh, and that dad like locks a door and tells him.
Okay, but let's talk for a second. He goes down to like the catacombs of his own house, which is very weird. But I guess it's a castle-y type thing, right? It's a manor.
Not like
maybe they're catacombs.
Not like kids would have ever gone to every house in their building.
Exactly.
When they were kids.
Yeah, you should know that this is here. He seems surprised by everything. It's like, did he just? Maybe the dad's just been digging this out for the last 20 years while he's been gone. I don't know. Very dumb.
So dad clicks a lock, which seems to like lock him in a room, but it doesn't really.
I think it locks Anthony Hopkins in the room.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because right
thought
before
he locked him in the room.
It did seem that way because Benicio even does like the look back and he's like, "Oh no." But what I think because what Anthony Hopkins says right before he does it, he's like, "I don't think they'll kill you, Lawrence, but they will blame you." So I think that he's locking himself up so he doesn't do anything bad, but he knows Benicio's about to go werewolf out and kill a bunch of people.
So okay, so I got confused. I thought he just locked a door between the two of them, and then they both went off and werewolfed.
No, I think he's trying to. This is his alibi is like, or whatever. He's like, it's definitely Benicio. It's only Benicio. Don't worry about me. I'm over here being safe. But I will say the one thing I enjoyed about the scene is when Anthony Hopkins backs up from his door, his eyes turn yellow for a second, and I was like, oh, he's a wolf. He's a wolf.
Dad locks him up. He transforms. Hugo Weaving's like on the case. One of the only lines in the movie I liked was they're all like, "Why aren't you out hunting the werewolf?" And he's all like, "Everybody's here in town, so I'm just gonna wait."
So I'm gonna be here.
Food
Something's
supply
gonna
is
happen.
Here. I was like, "Boom!"
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So they've got the stag tied up. There's a pit. The werewolf goes there, falls in the pit. They fall in the pit. Everybody's shooting in the pit.
That's the part that it gets upsetting to me. He falls in the trap. Totally understandable. That's why it's there. But then dude after dude accidentally falls in their own trap. Yeah. What are they doing? They're like, dumb. Oh, maybe it ends right. Oh, no, it ended before. It's so dumb.
They didn't even know their own trap. So he kills everyone, and then the one guy runs away in the bog, and then he cuts his head off.
Which is a very fun moment for me when he just decapitates the dude. It's great.
It's good, but it's also dumb because we do it again.
I think the second one's better. Wait. How many are there? Are there 3? Because isn't that how he kills
he does it,
his dad?
Kills his dad.
Then the first one's better. I don't care about the second one. The second one, he should be dead with the dagger, the silver dagger.
So he wakes up and he's all covered in blood, and Dad's like, you're off to the asylum.
No, that's not what he says, Dan. This is my favorite.
What does he say? This is your favorite part, which is totally his favorite part of this movie.
In cinema history, he's looking at him, and Benicio's like, oh, what happened? What happened? And Anthony Hopkins just looks at him and he goes, terrible things, Lawrence. You've done terrible things. So good. It's so good. I say it all the time, Dan, and it doesn't make any sense outside of the context, but I say it a lot. I love it. Terrible Tony, things, Lawrence.
How long have you and I known each other?
50 years?
I don't know.
It's a long time. Long time.
We know each other 10 years?
About 10. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Because you don't know the movie. If you don't know the movie, then it's a really weird line. So you got to save it for people that have seen the movie. And you got to test the waters. It's a great line, Dan.
When did you move to LA?
Yeah, about 10 years ago. And then I started Groundlings right away.
Oh, okay.
It was the first thing I did was sign up for a Groundlings class. What a mistake that was, everybody. Don't do it.
Tony.
Bitterness.
So he's immediate water torture, bad dreams.
Hold on. See, you're skating over some very confusing plot lines here, Dan. The water torture. So we cut to this doctor.
I just said water torture. What do you mean?
Well, hold on.
Skating over. I said water torture.
The why of the thing is very confusing. So we cut to this insane asylum, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, welcome back, Lawrence. Good to see you, buddy. Turns out your delusions are bad.
Oh.
But we don't know what his delusions are. He hasn't said anything. All we know is he just killed a bunch of people. Those are not delusions, Dan. That's murder. But this doctor's like, we got to get rid of these delusions because they're not real. And I'm like, what delusions? What is he saying? He hasn't said. He should go in. He should be like raving like a lunatic, like, I'm a werewolf. You got to stop me, blah, blah, blah. Something, anything. Or he should be saying, my dad's a werewolf, because that's what it's really about, is this whole time he believes his dad's a werewolf when he was a kid. That's why he went to the asylum, I think. So I think it's the same delusions that his dad is a monster and now has turned him into a monster. But he never tells us what his delusions are, and that bothers me.
He doesn't really say much or do anything. He just sort of...
Even during the torture, there's a point where he's just like mumbles. He's like, my dad's going to kill you all. You got to kill him. You got to kill him. And they put the thing in his mouth, and I'm like...
No, he says, I'm going to kill you all.
Well, that's later when they're in the room. We'll get there. That's when they do the experiment. I know, Dan, this movie frustrates me because it doesn't make any sense.
So I wrote, makeout sesh? Who does he have a makeout? Does he have a makeout sesh? Does he dream that?
Oh, I don't know.
Somebody makes out.
Good for them.
So Dad shows up to visit. He tells the story. Oh, he tells the story of how he became a werewolf.
Literally tells him everything. And then walks to the door and is like, guard, let me out. So there's a guard at the door, Dan. They can hear everything they just said in this room.
Sure.
And Anthony Hopkins literally says, I'm the monster. I've turned you into a monster. Now we're both monsters. I'll see you later. And then just walks free.
Oh, and also that they killed the mother. He remembers that he killed the mother.
Totally murdered your mom. Yeah.
Yep. And he tells him that for 25 years I've been locking myself up. Yeah. Now I'm over it. I'm over it. No more.
Which is very strange because the first night that he forgot, isn't that the night that he killed the son?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that's when he's like, so, fuck it. That was pretty fun. I killed my own son, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
So he's like, here's a straight razor. Feel free to kill yourself. And he's like,
you don't think that it's as cool as I do to murder people and turn into a monster. You can take your own life if you want. Don't worry about it.
And he's like, I kill you. And then Tony, do you remember what the dad does as Anthony Hopkins does as he walks away?
Does he just flick him off?
No, he plays his harmonica.
He was actually playing the harmonica? I thought that was just the score. And I was like, what a weird choice.
I think he was playing a harmonica,
I think you're right, because I think he is walking down like this.
It's like, thanks, Dad. Thanks, bro.
So stupid. Everything's so dumb in this movie.
So now he's in like the chair and he's chained in and he's got the thing in the mouth and we're in the doctor's thing where all the doctors are sitting on the thing.
Yes.
The doctor's like, blah, 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 blah. Today I'm going to do something to him, but we don't know what he's going to do. He's going to bore him to death with talk.
100%. And so this is like the most important scene in the movie, and they totally botch it. To me, like the most important scene in a werewolf movie is the point where you prove that he's a werewolf.
Sure.
Because that's when all hell should break loose, right?
Yeah.
But Benicio's character needs to feel regret and grief, and he needs to be afraid of his monstrous side, right? Because he doesn't want to kill people. He needs to be a good guy. We need to cheer for him.
Nope.
None of that happens. Benicio barely gives a shit. He's like, I'm gonna kill you guys. Hey, I'm telling you, okay, you're in trouble now, guys.
I warned you. I'm not going to feel bad about it, but I warned you.
Right. It's not my fault. This is on you guys. This is your fault. You're all dead. Doesn't give a shit. He needs to be like freaking out and pleading with them to kill him. I need emotion. There's no emotion in this scene. And then I don't care about Benicio at all. I don't want him to win. I want him to die. And that's the fatal flaw of this movie.
This is the point at which you want him to die.
This is where I'm just like, just kill him, guys. Just silver right to the heart. Kill him right now.
You see, this is where I wanted this movie to be about the class struggle.
Sure.
Because I thought that's what I thought this movie really should be. It should be about the class struggle. And he's, Dad is up here, aristocracy, And then these doctors are there stand-in. This is phase one, the stand-in for the aristocracy. And then he says this line to them, which you already said, I'm going to kill you all, or you're all going to die.
You're all going to die.
You're all going to die. How many of them die, Tony?
I think 2, maybe.
2. I was so pissed. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yes.
This should have been. He should have just been going through them like waves. He should have just been cutting,
should be tearing people apart constantly, and they just don't.
He kills 2 guys.
Yeah,
these are the guys that have tortured him. And
then he just jumps out the window.
Yeah, he kills like 2 guys and then jumps out a window.
So this is...
And then kills a lot more random citizenry that has done nothing to him for no reason.
And that's why it's confusing, because I don't understand the beast of it all. Because the beast should want revenge. Like, you've hurt me. Like, animals in general, like, if you hurt me, I'm going to attack you. Mm-hmm. Or cower, but, whatever. Like, he should be pissed. He should tear through these motherfuckers and just annihilate them. There should be like 30 dead bodies, blood everywhere, guts. And then once he's had his fill, he should get out of there. And still, I'm cool with the rampage in the city. I think that's a fun scene.
I think he should have killed all of them. Then he should have run, and then they could have been trying to kill him. Then he goes into flee mode and tries to live.
Great. Yeah. Great. I just, it just didn't make any sense. Any of it.
So Hugo's following him. He's howling at the moon. He kills a bus. Lots of guns. He ends up falling asleep under a bridge in view of London Bridge.
Which is pretty. Again.
Very beautiful scene.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes. The Standing Rock scene, just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Story-wise, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, not that it matters, because I can't sit through this movie again to see the imagery anyhow, but it's fine.
So now he goes to the antique store where Emily Blunt works at. Her name is Gwen. Did you know her name was Gwen?
If you're telling me that, I believe you.
Her name's Gwen. Now, I have a question for you, Tony.
Yeah.
I don't remember when this happens in the whole thing, but at one point, Dad starts saying a bunch of stuff. And about killing the brother. And, like, he has no qualms about killing, his son.
Yes.
Now, was he hot for Gwen? Or was he... No,
so what he says...
He said a bunch of weird stuff, and I didn't understand
This is in the chamber again, when he's divulging all of his secrets at one time.
Okay.
He said that Gwen was going to take the son away from him. And he was like, even though I came to peace with that, the beast did not. So then the beast's response was to then kill the son who he didn't want to leave him. Doesn't make any sense.
He should have killed the girl.
100%. Yes.
So
correct. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then not only he was like, I didn't want my son to leave because, I loved him, but then I killed him and I'm like totally cool with it. None of that makes any sense.
So he somehow breaks into her store filled with priceless antiques.
Yeah.
Like somehow gets in there, sneaks in there.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
She has to unlock the door, but he just gets in because that's how stores work.
Well, he's a werewolf. They got mad mystical powers.
And then she's like, I love you. And then they have a big kiss. And then Hugo shows up because he figured it out.
Yeah.
And he comes in there and he shoots a mirror and somehow the werewolf has escaped. Somehow. Mm-hmm. Who knows how. But he's got a top hat, and then women recognize him in the street, and they don't say anything. And the kid on the street corner recognizes him and doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
and he just leaves town.
Yeah. He's just a terrible murderer. It's cool. Let's let him do his thing.
It's like the kid has the newspaper, and he buys all the newspapers. I'm like, is he going to go buy all the newspapers in the whole town? And I was expecting the kid to take one of the newspapers, hold it up next to his face, and be like,
uh-oh.
so stupid. The kid knows who he is. The woman knew who he was. No.
Doesn't matter.
No.
So, and now again, we get to another point of this. So what's interesting, I think we want this movie to be, we both want it to be different, but I think we want it to be different in different ways, which I find very interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
This love story, I wish was more of the movie because they just brush over it. And then the end of the movie doesn't mean anything to me.
Sure.
Yeah. Well,
it means some stuff that just doesn't make any sense.
I don't feel any emotion when she has to kill him. And I want to. I want to feel emotion, not only myself, but also them would be great, but that's not going to happen either. She emotes a little, but he's just so wooden in this movie. I can't stand it. But I would love this movie to be more about him and her.
Sure.
And like his struggle between loving this woman and being a horrible monster. And like, yeah, I don't know. I find that interesting.
Well, and it could be about like, her fall in love with the bad boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He could have been a bad boy.
Women love that
never
stuff.
A bad boy. He was a nothing.
He's a nothing. He's a nothing.
Well,
I
was going to start this at the beginning. Tony, what does his character want?
I think nothing. I don't even he doesn't even seem to want to get back to acting. Like that didn't seem to matter to him either.
He walked away from his big gig and doesn't really care about going back.
Yeah, and then he comes back and he's like kind of looking for his brother. That's the motivation to getting back. But when he gets back, he's already dead. So he's like, okay, well, I'll just like hang out or whatever, and I guess I'll look for who killed him, but only a little. I don't know. He's got nothing.
And what does Dad want? He just wants to be free.
He just wants to kill people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just have a good time.
So she does her research, looks through a book, sees the word lycanthropy. So how far do you think it is from London to Blackmore?
I think it's further than it should be.
23 miles.
Oh, that's not as far as I thought. Okay. Got it. I mean, that's basically next door. But do they have cars? They have carriages. How long does that take in a horse carriage, Dan?
Oh, not very long.
Okay. Got it.
I mean, figure a horse carriage on those roads back then is probably going to go like 4 miles an hour. So it's going to take like 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I could do it.
Yeah. And walking over the marshes should take him 2 or 3 days, but it takes him 1 day.
Yeah, it takes him about 13 minutes, I think.
Yes. So she meets the gypsies, and the gypsies are all like, no can do, can't help you. And she's all like, damn.
So what's even the point? Of
having all the research in that?
Yeah. Nope. Like it doesn't, I don't know. Whatever. And the gypsy lady's like, you're going to have to kill him, basically, which we already knew, and it just doesn't mean anything, and that pisses me off.
So he sneaks into the house, saying he's dead. Then they're like, okay, we're going to ride. So all the men and Hugo are like, okay, we're going to ride to the house under the full moon for a reason that we have no idea.
Stupidity
no clue.
Is the reason.
They know exactly who it is. They can just pick him up tomorrow.
Yeah.
There it is.
No. Just wait it out, guys.
We're doing it tonight. Tonight's the night. So
evil dies tonight.
I wrote, this is the point where we have the actor versus the hunter. Who would you bet on, the actor or the hunter?
The actor, Dan, because us
the actor wins.
Dan, we can do anything. We can be anyone, and we can feel anything. I mean, the hunter. You're going with the hunter at 10 out of 10.
So Dad's up there playing piano. He goes up there. We're like, come on, kill him, kill him, kill him. And then when he finally and he does all heir to my kingdom. And you're all like, what are you talking about?
When did that happen?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that at all, this movie.
So you want him to be the king werewolf up here and you're going to stop being? I'm like, I don't understand anything.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense, Dan.
And then he tries to shoot and then the bullets don't work because he debulleted them years ago.
So I don't understand. I don't know how guns work. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yep.
But he asks him like, hey, are those Hugo Weaving silver bullets in there? And then Benicio says yes.
No.
Right?
No. He takes the silver bullets out of Sing's trunk.
Sing is the guy
Sing's
that's
the
known
Indian
the whole
guy.
time.
He's Indian, bro. The guy that lives in the house. So he's known. So he has these things.
Okay. So he's saying, I knew that Sing knew that I was a werewolf, and I took care of that shit.
Now, Tony, you are an actor, and I believe your dad is a hunter. Did this ever come into play, where you're like, oh, geez.
Have I told you the Matilda story?
This
is totally tangential. I
don't know if you've ever told us the Matilda story.
My dad used to bring me hunting because he wanted me to be a man. Which is, I feel bad for him. Like, I really do. And that's one of the reasons we don't get along. We just don't get along, right? But he used to bring me hunting all the time. And this one time he brought me to this duck blind and he's like, you're going to stay in the duck blind. Cause I always used to leave the duck. Like I can't just sit in that room and just like, okay, let's wait for ducks and then kill fucking murder birds. So I used to like leave and wander and like go drink it, whatever. But he was like, you're going to stay in this duck blind all weekend long. So I brought a book. I brought the book of Matilda, which is, if you don't know what Matilda is, it's about a young girl witch. And I was reading it and he was just kind of sitting there. He's looking at me. He's like, what the fuck book is that? And I was like, oh, it's Matilda. And then I told him what it was about. And he took Matilda away from me and he yelled at me for a good like 30 minutes that day. Yeah, I brought a man to the duck, blah, 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 blah. Ugh, boy, oh boy. What a treat, man.
He didn't bring a man. He brought an actor.
I could act like a man. Look at me now.
It reminds me of like the Monty Python thing where like the king and his son are like up in the tower and the kid keeps trying to sing. Father. Like, no singing, no singing.
Yeah, story of my life. Anyhow, is that what you were asking, Dan?
that completely answers my question. That is the story I dreamt about in my dreams. So they both turn into so I'm not even going to go into it. The bullets don't work. No. They turn into werewolves. They start fighting as werewolves.
And this is my least favorite werewolf moment of the movie because
this fight. You mean?
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it was kind of fun when Hugo Weaving came in there and was like, pulling pikes off the wall and like.
For sure, yeah, and threw one, stabbed him in the side. Reminded me of Ace Ventura when Nature Calls when he gets the arrow.
Yeah,
remember that? The spear in the leg.
I saw that movie once and I tried to forget it.
Whoa, really? We should watch it for this podcast so I can defend it to the death.
Oh, God,
it's the greatest film of all time.
So she comes in and then she runs and then he chases her and then he catches her and then she's all like, I know you're in there. I know you're in there. And then he's all like, I guess I'm in here. And then she's like, he like looks back.
Hold on. Am I in here?
And then she's like, okay, I guess I got to pick up the gun and she shoots him.
Yeah, once he like calms down and is like, oh, maybe I am a human, she's like blows his brains out.
And then I did like it right at the end. He grabs her with his paw and she's all like, oh shit. And then it turns into the human hand and he was grabbing her because he loves her. That was a nice little moment.
It would have been nice if I felt any connection to them whatsoever. Also, like when she's like, it's me, you know me. I was like, but how long has he known her? Has it been I think he gets bit the month before, right?
Yeah, so it's about a month. Yeah,
about a month. I guess I could fall in love with Emily Blunt in a month. I buy it.
Well, let's think about it. Yeah, because he gets bit, so it's exactly a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I could.
But how many times has she left? How
like
long have they really hung out?
I think you'd fall in love with her in hours.
Yeah, probably less. I mean, because I watched a movie and then I was in love with her, right? So like 40 an hour, 40. Anyhow,
then again, he's had a full, hot and cold running harlots his whole life, so it might take a month for him.
Sure, yeah, like he gets it. He knows what he's doing. I like the idea of the ending, but it just falls so flat because there's no connection, and that's a real bummer for me. And it all kind of goes back to like there's no emotion in the movie, period.
None.
And I need that. I need this, like, the human element of it to come through a little bit more to make it a real movie.
Oh, you mean you need people caring about things and having wants and having them be denied and having him, want his father's approval and not having it and the father not approving. And
how is that not a thing that we talk about ever? Because it's there. He's got daddy issues and we never discuss that.
No, we never come anywhere near any of them.
So weird. As a guy with daddy issues, you discuss it. Trust me. It comes up.
You're a disappointment to me, you whelp.
Thank you. You're bringing me back, Dan. It's comforting.
What does he say to his son? Oh, you've returned. Very good.
Prodigal son returns, but you don't feel that way.
Find a room or something, and I'll serve you eel later. Bring me the eel.
Baked eel.
What the fuck? I don't understand any of this. So then...
Sorry, no, go.
So then Hugo Weaving was bit. So he looks up at the moon, and we're like, oh, Hugo Weaving as the Wolfman Part 2. Okay.
And that movie might be good.
Might have been good.
Hugo Weaving as a werewolf, I'm in. I will watch that because that guy's going to give it his all. He's going to bear it out, and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
The movie might still suck, but at least he would be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bummer. It's a bummer. This movie, there's some cool things in it, but it's just not a movie.
It's not much movie here because nobody really wants anything, and we don't know any of the things they don't want are, and they don't ever try to get the things they don't want. So we don't know anything about who they are and what they want and what they don't want.
100%. So can we agree, Dan?
Yeah.
Looking right in your eyes right now,
Lawrence, you're the man of my dreams.
Terrible things, Lawrence. You've done terrible things.
That's a good line. It is a good line.
It's such a good line. I just love it so much. But, okay, as a side, he says Lawrence too many times in this movie.
Don't care.
You don't. It started to get on my nerves a little bit. Every sentence that Anthony Hopkins says either starts or ends with Lawrence. Lawrence, are you going to eat some food? Lawrence. It's very weird.
Every time he started talking, my eyes glazed over and I stopped paying attention. I mean, truthfully, this movie, it's another one where you're just sitting there like this, like.
Well, I think we say this on the podcast. I fell asleep and I had to wake up this morning, rewind, and go back to where I remembered because it's not a good movie.
It's not super engaging. And I watched the long version. You watched the short version.
And it's like 20 more minutes almost.
It's like 17
good for you,
minutes.
Dan. Good for you. You really went for it. But can we agree?
Yes.
That Monster Squad does the Wolfman better? Like infinitely better?
No.
What are you talking about?
Monster Squad, it doesn't even. Oh, you just mean that one scene where he goes to the cops and is like,
yeah, the one, because everyone gets one scene in that. Like each monster gets their own scene, and that's the Wolfman scene when he's in there, and then even when he's in the phone booth and he starts foaming, he's like, "They're gonna kill your son." Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, but at least the Wolfman in this one actually does Wolfman stuff. He's a Wolfman. He's standing in front of a kid he should kill, and he's like, peace out.
It's a kids movie, away. Dan. They can't do the tearing of the heads off in a kids movie.
It'd have been a better movie.
Name, yeah. But I just mean that one, the cop scene where he's in there and he's like, "You gotta lock me up." I love that scene.
Better. Well, I mean, there's more acting in that scene than Benicio does in the
entire movie. That's 2-minute scene.
It's not the best acting, but it's actually acting.
At least he's trying. You know what I mean? Like he's giving it his all, and that's all I want. I will appreciate your effort. Not you, Benicio, you son of a bitch.
So, Tony, tell us about something you liked this week.
I've got 2 things. One of them's like a rehash because it's back. Everybody, go to Hulu. You stupid sons of bitches, and watch Gallivant. It came back to Hulu end of December. We got to watch it. Just support it. I don't think they're going to make more. I still hope that they do. But I get it. Just support it. Just go watch it. It's the greatest musical comedy you'll ever see in your life. And that's not hyperbole, guys. It's phenomenal. So watch that. It's back. But Cobra Kai Season 4 dropped this week as well. And I am having a great time. We're like halfway through it. We watched it for like 4 hours yesterday.
We watched this new thing on Netflix called Anxious People. It's like Swedish or Norwegian
that doesn't
or something.
Sound like something I can handle.
Super fun. Little six episodes. They're about half an hour. And these people all end up in a house or an apartment with like a bank robber. And then they all come out and sort of tell different stories. And so it's sort of a comedy. It's sort of a mystery. It's just really, really handled nicely. Nice character study with characters and people.
What are those?
Hey, where do you go for characters? Freaking television.
You go to TBS. Wait, USA? USA characters are welcome. Damn it, I blew the joke.
And I have to, since we're filming this on January 1st, I have to talk about the worst movie I saw all year, Don't Look Up.
Oh, really? I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list, but I feel like people are loving it.
If people are loving it, they're idiots. It is.
Should we do it? Can we do it?
No, it's too horrible. I hate it so much.
Oh God, that makes me want to do it.
I hate it so much.
I'm about to change my mind on what I picked.
Oh, I hated it so much. I could not watch it again. I would literally kill myself.
Would you remember it enough to just do it next week, even without watching it again? All right, we won't do it.
If you want, we can do it next week. I would do it.
What if I really like it?
Then you're an idiot.
Okay. No, if you hate it that much, we have to do it because you don't usually hate movies. I'm the guy that hates the movies.
I hate this movie so much.
We have to do it. Okay. I've changed my mind. That's what we're doing.
I'll rewatch it. Not rewatch the whole thing, but I'll go through it and make notes.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say anything else about it.
I'm so glad you don't like it. Yeah. Save it.
I guess that's what we're doing next week. We're doing Don't Look Up, the Netflix special.
I'm just so excited that you hate a movie, Dan. I always feel like you're pretty indifferent. Like you don't enjoy them and you pick them apart. But it's rare that you get, angry. I feel like the last time you got angry was the social experience, whatever that. Yeah, that was a good one.
And the movie before that I hated was the Brad Pitt one where he has to fly. Oh, what's it called?
Has to fly?
I mean, a space movie. He goes out into space and has to.
Is that Interstellar?
Not Interstellar. Hated that movie too.
Right, Interstellar's Matthew McConaughey. Ad Astra is Brad Pitt.
Ad Astra.
Yeah.
Hated everything about that movie.
Should we do that movie at some point? Because I haven't seen it.
No, I already did that's what.
Oh, you did your own little rant.
I did a 20-minute rant on that, and that was the impetus for us doing this show because that movie made me so angry.
Well, thank you for including me in the follow-up episodes. I really appreciate it.
So we're gonna do Don't Look Up.
You sound so upset about it.
We're gonna count. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna count Don't Look Up as a joint movie, and so you pick the movie for next week.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay, got it.
We won't count this towards your pick since
it'll be like a special episode.
So it's another special. We're just doing so many special episodes.
So many special episodes.
Don't Look Up.
Because we're special.
Oh, I have to go through it again.
Oh, I'm so excited, Dan. All right, if I could pick it every week just to see that look on your face, I would. Yeah.
Wolfman.
The Wolfman. Terrible things, Lawrence.
If you like what you see in here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment. We love all of you. It's going to be another great year this year, and we're going into our third year.
It's going to be a great year for the podcast. I'm not super hopeful for 2022 as a whole.
This is our third year, man.
Can you believe that shit?
I mean, not that we've actually done more than 2 years worth of episodes, but this is our third year.
We've been doing it. Yeah.
Doing it.
Great work, guys.
So thank you, Pandemic, for us actually following through and doing 75, 77 shows or something.
It's very rare that I follow through on something I say I'm going to do. So this is great. This is good stuff.
So don't look up, you bastards.
Don't look up. It's going to be great. I think. I don't know.
So we'll see you next time.
Yeah, come back to see Dan cranky. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, I'm going to be so cranky. So very cranky.